Hey 160, welcome to week 6. I've got a couple of announcements and reminders for you. The first is that your midterm opened this morning at 7 a.m. and will close at 11:59 p.m. this coming Friday, October 2nd. Make sure that you take it before 11:59 p.m. on Friday. If for some reason you don't and it submits late or after that time, there won't be any points for the midterm. You'll have an hour to take it once you open it, and it covers any content that we've talked about week 1 through 5 in Learn, Lab, and Pod, and content that we talk about this week in Learn. So Lab and Pod this week will not be covered on the midterm. Speaking of Lab this week, I've decided to make Lab optional this week. What that means is we will not be meeting for Lab, and instead you can choose to complete the lab on your own time. It's all up on Blackboard, and it's all there for you, and it's optional this week. So what that means is if you choose to complete the lab, then it will increase the number of labs that you've completed, so that the score that you get on Blackboard is out of a higher number of possible points. So to walk you through how you might decide whether or not to complete the lab this week. If you've gotten a couple of zeros or low scores on your labs, then taking another lab could increase your overall score in labs because it's giving you a higher denominator in terms of the fraction, which could help you overall. If you've done really well on labs and you feel good about this week's content, then choosing not to complete the lab isn't necessarily going to hurt you. And it lowers the number of overall points that you could earn from lab. But it's probably not going to hurt you to complete the lab or not complete the lab, depending on how you've already done on labs previously. I hope that clears that up for you if you're not sure whether or not you're going to complete the lab this week, but it is optional. You could choose to spend our normal lab time taking the midterm or working on your assignment, The Church in the Community, which is also due at the end of this week. So October 4th, that's this Sunday at 11:59 p.m., you're submitting the paper portion of the Church in the Community assignment. So you could choose to spend your lab time this week working on that if you would rather do that instead of complete the lab. So again, our announcement and reminders this week. The first is your midterm. Don't forget to take that. Closes at 11:59 p.m. this Friday. Your second is that we don't have labs this week. Lab is optional. If you would like to complete the lab, you're welcome to. But if you don't complete the lab, you're not going to lose points for this week's lab. And then the third is a reminder that you do have an assignment due at the end of this week on October 4th, 11:59 p.m. The Church in the Community assignment is due. So that's all of our announcements and reminders for this week. So I won't see any of you in lab this week. You can complete that online if you'd like. So I will see you next week in lab. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to jump on Slack. Throw the question up in the class channel. You'll never know. Maybe somebody else has a similar question. All right, gang. Best of luck on the midterm, and I'll see you after our fall break.